Do you ever wake up in the morning, open your eyes, and feel a quiet emptiness settling into your chest, as if the silence around you is slowly swallowing up your joy? Imagine Margaret, a warm, kind-hearted 72-year-old woman, waking up in her cozy little home. The sunlight gently streams through her bedroom curtains, but instead of happiness, Margaret feels a deep sense of loneliness. Her children have moved far away. Her husband passed several years ago, and her closest friends rarely stop by anymore. Each morning as she slowly rises, she asks herself the same painful question: does anyone even think about me anymore? Margaret's situation isn't unique. Did you know nearly 1/3 of seniors who live alone wake up every morning feeling isolated or forgotten? This loneliness isn't just emotionally painful, it slowly weakens your health, increases anxiety, and significantly shortens your lifespan. But here's the good news. You have the power to change this. Have you ever wondered if your mornings could look different? Imagine waking up with excitement, purpose, and a genuine feeling of connection, even if you live alone. There are 4 simple yet powerful actions you can take every single morning that will transform your loneliness into happiness, anxiety into calm, and isolation into fulfillment. Keep watching, because the last tip I'll share is rarely mentioned, yet it's the single most impactful way to renew your emotional health and sense of purpose each day. Ready to discover the secret? Let's dive in. Number 1, create a morning connection ritual. Margaret, whom you met a moment ago, was once the life of her neighborhood. At 72, she still loved gardening, baking delicious apple pies for friends, and telling stories filled with laughter and wisdom. But over the years, her morning routine began to change. Instead of getting up excited about her day, Margaret found herself waking up with a heavy heart, feeling isolated and disconnected from the world around her. Maybe you recognize these feelings yourself. Loneliness isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. Experts have found that chronic loneliness in seniors can be just as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It weakens your immune system, puts strain on your heart, and increases your risk of depression and cognitive decline. Simply put, loneliness isn't something to brush aside. It's urgent, real, and requires action. Margaret learned this the hard way. Each morning as loneliness crept into her quiet home, her physical health began declining too. She lost her appetite, found it hard to sleep, and became anxious about even the smallest things. One day, Margaret realized she hadn't spoken to another human being in 4 whole days. That frightening realization was her wake-up call. Then, Margaret made one simple but powerful change. She started creating what she called her morning connection ritual. Every day, before her coffee or breakfast, Margaret committed to reaching out and speaking with at least one person. It could be anyone, a neighbor, a friend, or a family member. Even a short chat about the weather or yesterday's TV show counted. Here's why this small ritual matters so much. When you live alone, mornings set the emotional tone for your entire day. Starting your day feeling isolated reinforces negative emotions, creating a cycle that's difficult to break. On the other hand, beginning your morning with a warm human connection boosts happiness, hormones like oxytocin, immediately improving your mood and health. Dr. Emily Keller, a senior health specialist, puts it clearly. Regular social interactions, even very brief ones, significantly reduce stress levels and improve heart health. They literally make seniors happier and healthier almost instantly. She emphasizes that a short conversation can reduce feelings of depression and loneliness significantly, giving you a brighter outlook on life. Margaret decided to try this herself. Each morning after waking, she reached for her phone, called her neighbor Betty, and they talked for about 5 minutes. Sometimes they laughed about small things, like the squirrels getting into Betty's bird feeder, or exchanged simple plans for their days. It wasn't about having deep, serious conversations, just the gentle comfort of another voice, a small reminder she wasn't forgotten. This simple action completely changed Margaret's mornings. Soon she started feeling happier, sleeping better, and even her appetite returned. Eventually she expanded her morning routine. She began texting her grandchildren, sharing short jokes or good morning messages. She even joined a senior-friendly online community where she posted encouraging messages to others who felt lonely, too. In no time, Margaret's mornings had completely transformed from lonely and dreary to meaningful and bright. She no longer dreaded waking up. Instead, she woke excited to make these small yet powerful connections. Her family and neighbors noticed a remarkable difference. She smiled more often, laughed more freely, and felt healthier and younger. Margaret discovered firsthand that it's not the length or complexity of interactions that matters most. It's the simple consistency of knowing someone is there each day, caring about your well-being. You can do exactly the same. Starting tomorrow, I encourage you to make your own morning connection ritual. Decide right now who you'll reach out to first thing in the morning. It could be an old friend, a family member you haven't talked to in weeks, or even a friendly neighbor. Commit yourself to this simple practice for just 7 days and watch how quickly it changes your outlook. I'd love to hear from you personally. Have you ever experienced loneliness in the morning, just like Margaret? Who would you feel most comfortable reaching out to tomorrow? Tell me in the comments below. Your thoughts and experiences inspire and support others who might be silently struggling. Remember, loneliness thrives in silence, but connection breaks that silence and restores joy. By creating just one simple human connection every single morning, you'll start every day feeling happier, healthier, and more deeply fulfilled. Imagine how different your life can feel when you wake up knowing you aren't alone. Number 2, gentle morning movement for joyful aging. Have you ever noticed how getting out of bed seems to feel harder every day? If you live alone, it's easy to slip into routines that slowly limit your activity. This creeping inactivity doesn't just make your muscles weak, it steals your happiness, drains your energy, and makes aging feel even harder than it has to. Richard, a lively 69-year-old retiree, experienced this firsthand. He used to enjoy early morning walks, chatting with neighbors, and tending his vegetable garden. But as arthritis slowly crept into his joints, mornings became harder. Eventually, instead of pushing through to discomfort, Richard chose comfort, staying longer in bed each day. Soon, those leisurely morning walks vanished completely from his life. At first, it felt like relief, no more pain or stiffness from moving, but that relief soon faded into depression. Without morning movement, Richard began noticing changes he hadn't expected. Small daily tasks like climbing stairs, picking up the newspaper, or even just standing from his favorite chair became daunting challenges. The less he moved, the weaker he felt. Soon he felt trapped, not just in his home, but inside his own body. Maybe Richard's experience feels familiar. When your body hurts, moving seems like the last thing you'd want to do. But here's something incredibly hopeful to consider. Science proves that gentle, daily morning movements can actually reverse stiffness, pain, and sadness, making your days feel brighter and your body younger. Dr. Laura Evans, a specialist in senior health, explains it simply. Gentle morning movement, even just 5 or 10 minutes, greatly improves blood flow to your muscles and joints. It sends nutrients where they're needed, reduces inflammation, and releases endorphins, the chemicals in your brain responsible for happiness. In other words, short, gentle morning movements literally make you feel happier and stronger, right from your first step out of bed. When Richard learned this, he was skeptical. Could something so simple really improve his life? But he decided to test the theory. Instead of forcing himself into a full workout, Richard created a small, achievable morning routine. Each morning before breakfast, he committed to only 5 gentle minutes of stretching right in bed. He slowly rotated his ankles, lifted and lowered his legs gently, stretched his arms overhead, and flexed his fingers one by one. Something remarkable happened. After just a few days, Richard noticed a significant difference. Getting up became easier. He felt less stiffness and pain and found himself smiling again. After 2 weeks, Richard felt inspired to go a step further. He began walking slowly around his home each morning, stretching lightly by his kitchen counter, and even stepping outdoors briefly to breathe fresh air and wave at neighbors. What started as 5 small minutes soon grew into 10 joyful minutes each morning, minutes he genuinely looked forward to. His neighbors noticed too. "Richard, you're looking great," they'd say, cheering him on. It was more than just physical health. It was the emotional uplift, the sense of pride, accomplishment, and independence he regained. If moving in the morning feels overwhelming to you, remember Richard's simple method. You don't need special equipment or complicated routines. Begin gently, maybe stretching your fingers, gently rolling your ankles, or moving your arms and shoulders right in bed. Each tiny movement counts. Your body responds instantly, rewarding you with feelings of relief, happiness, and renewed energy. Now, I know some of you watching might wonder if these small movements could really matter. Let me reassure you, they absolutely do. Doctors have repeatedly shown that seniors who move gently each morning experience fewer falls, improved mood, and better mental clarity throughout the day. Imagine waking up feeling confident, stable on your feet, and optimistic about the day ahead, instead of anxious or exhausted before your feet even touch the floor. Richard reclaimed his joy, independence, and happiness through small, consistent steps. And you can too. You don't have to let stiffness and aches dictate your mornings. Take control today by promising yourself just 5 gentle minutes of morning movement. Stretch, breathe deeply, walk slowly around your home. Even small actions have huge impacts on your happiness and health. I would genuinely love to know, have you struggled with morning stiffness, arthritis, or chronic pain? What simple movement or activity helps you feel better each morning? Please share your experiences below in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else who's feeling exactly like you once did. Remember, aging doesn't mean losing your joy or independence. Small, gentle morning movements can transform your days, bringing you renewed happiness, energy, and purpose. One gentle stretch at a time. Number 3, mindfulness for emotional freedom. Do you sometimes wake up feeling a heavy wave of worry or anxiety before your day even begins? You're not alone. Many seniors who live by themselves often find the morning quietness bringing unwanted thoughts and fears, creating a stressful, exhausting start to each day. Robert, a thoughtful and kind-hearted man of 74, faced this reality every morning. When his eyes opened, anxiety was waiting for him, whispering countless worries into his mind. What if my health gets worse today? Can I afford the medications the doctor prescribed? What if nobody visits or calls again? Each question added weight, piling onto his heart, making him dread waking up more and more. Robert's anxiety became so intense he began losing sleep, waking multiple times throughout the night, dreading the anxious feelings he knew awaited him in the morning. He even started experiencing headaches, digestive discomfort, and exhaustion throughout the day, all caused by these relentless worries. Life started to lose its joy as every day became a cycle of anxiety, fatigue, and fear. You may know exactly how Robert felt, but here's an empowering secret. Your mind is more powerful than you think, and it can work for you instead of against you. One simple technique called mindfulness can break that morning anxiety, freeing you from worry and filling your days with a calming sense of peace. Dr. Sarah Collins, a psychologist specializing in senior emotional wellness, explains mindfulness in a beautifully simple way. Mindfulness is about paying gentle attention to what's happening right now. Instead of getting lost in worries about the future or regrets from the past, mindfulness keeps you calmly anchored in the present moment. Studies clearly show mindfulness reduces stress hormones, improves emotional well-being, and helps seniors feel happier and calmer. When Robert first heard about mindfulness, he was unsure. Could something so easy actually quiet his anxious mind? He decided he had nothing to lose and gave it a try. The very next morning, instead of letting anxiety take control, Robert sat on the edge of his bed, took a deep, gentle breath, and simply noticed what he felt in the moment. He noticed the warmth of sunlight streaming through his window, the softness of the carpet under his feet, and the sound of birds softly chirping outside. At first, anxious thoughts rushed in again, but Robert didn't fight them. He simply let them pass, bringing his attention back to his breathing, calmly inhaling and exhaling, noticing each breath carefully. To Robert's surprise, after just 5 minutes of this gentle practice, he felt calmer, lighter, and more peaceful than he had in months. For the first time in a long while, anxiety wasn't running his morning. The results were remarkable. Robert continued his morning mindfulness practice every day, finding each session easier and more calming. He discovered something profound. He could gently acknowledge his worries without letting them take control. Soon, Robert's headaches disappeared, his sleep improved, and he felt emotionally lighter. His family even remarked how much calmer and happier he seemed. Instead of anxious mornings, Robert now felt about joy, gratitude, and emotional freedom every day. If you relate to Robert's experience, know this: mindfulness isn't complicated or difficult. It requires no special equipment, just a quiet spot and a few moments of gentle attention each morning. You might sit comfortably, eyes closed or softly open, breathing gently. Notice what you feel. Maybe it's the warmth of your blanket, the sound of your breathing, or a peaceful morning silence. Simply stay in this moment, gently returning your focus to your breath whenever worries pop into your mind. With daily practice, this simple technique transforms anxiety into calm, worry into peace, and loneliness into quiet joy. Today, Robert wakes up smiling, calm, and in control. Mindfulness gave him back his peace, confidence, and emotional freedom, and it can do exactly the same for you. Now, I'd love to hear from you directly. Have you ever tried mindfulness or meditation before? What worries or anxieties are most challenging for you in the mornings? Share your experiences in the comments. I genuinely want to know how mindfulness might help bring you peace. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, calmly breathing, feeling at ease and free from anxiety. Imagine starting every single day feeling peaceful and in control. Mindfulness isn't just a technique, it's your key to emotional freedom, allowing you to reclaim your mornings and live happier, more fulfilling days. Number 4, small acts of purpose and meaning. Do you ever wake up feeling like your life lacks meaning? As if your days blend together into a blur without purpose or direction? This hidden feeling of emptiness isn't rare. It's an epidemic quietly affecting seniors everywhere who live alone, robbing joy and leaving a lingering sadness each morning. Gloria, a spirited woman of 77, found herself feeling exactly this way. She had spent years raising a family, volunteering in her community, and feeling deeply valued and needed. But now, living alone in her quiet apartment, she woke each morning with a sinking thought. What's the point of today? Who needs me anymore? She missed feeling useful. Without purpose, her days felt empty and meaningless, filled only with the dull hum of the television and memories of better times. Maybe you felt this way too, wondering if there's still meaning to your life or feeling forgotten in the quiet solitude of morning. But here's a comforting truth. Your age doesn't erase your ability to make a difference. Even the smallest acts of purpose can bring incredible meaning and happiness back into your days. Dr. Mark Spencer, a geriatric psychologist, explains this clearly. When seniors feel they have no purpose, emotional and physical health suffers tremendously. Purpose isn't about grand gestures or huge achievements. It's about feeling useful, needed, and valued, even through simple, daily actions. When Gloria heard this advice, she felt skeptical at first. What difference could something small really make, she wondered. But one morning, instead of giving in to the usual sadness, Gloria decided to test the idea. She began writing down one simple goal each morning, small acts she knew she could easily achieve. One day she watered and cared for a small potted plant, noticing how good it felt to nurture something. Another day she wrote a short note of encouragement and slipped it under a neighbor's door. She even decided to bake a small batch of cookies to surprise her postman, who had been bringing her mail for years. These actions might sound minor, but their impact was life-changing. Gloria quickly noticed a remarkable shift in how she felt each day. Mornings became hopeful again, filled with anticipation rather than dread. The simple act of doing something meaningful, even as small as watering a plant or smiling at a neighbor, gave her days a renewed sense of purpose. Her sadness started fading, replaced by feelings of pride and joy. Gloria once again felt needed, valued, and deeply connected to the world around her. You might be thinking, could something so small really make a difference? Absolutely, and the reason is simple. Every time you achieve a small goal, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical that naturally lifts your mood and increases happiness. Doctors have shown that even tiny, achievable daily goals significantly reduce depression and dramatically improve your overall sense of fulfillment. Think about it. Each small task you accomplish reinforces the belief that your life still has meaning. Maybe your daily act of purpose could be writing a short diary entry reflecting on positive memories, sending a cheerful text to someone you love, or even feeding the birds outside your window. Whatever you choose, these seemingly tiny moments become powerful reminders that your life matters deeply, both to yourself and to those around you. Gloria expanded her small acts further. She started baking her famous oatmeal cookies again, sharing them with neighbors, feeling delighted as smiles lit up their faces. She even reached out to local charities, crocheting blankets or knitting hats each morning for those in need. These small, daily moments of purpose became her greatest source of happiness. She no longer dreaded waking up. Instead, she embraced each new morning with excitement and gratitude. You have the power to create these changes in your own life. Tomorrow morning, try Gloria's strategy. Pick one small goal, just one, that you can realistically accomplish. Maybe it's simply organizing a drawer, writing down a meaningful thought, or planning one act of kindness for someone else. You'll immediately notice how deeply fulfilling your mornings become. Now, I'd love to hear directly from you. What's one small goal or act of purpose you could try tomorrow morning? Share your ideas or experiences in the comments below. Your input not only matters deeply, it also inspires others who might be struggling to find meaning in their days. Remember, you don't have to live another morning feeling lonely, empty, or purposeless. By embracing small, daily acts of purpose, your mornings can once again feel joyful, vibrant, and full of meaning, one simple act at a time. By now, you've learned 4 powerful ways to transform your mornings from lonely and challenging into joyful, meaningful, and fulfilling. You've seen how Margaret found connection again, how Richard reclaimed his strength and independence, how Robert conquered his anxiety, and how Gloria rediscovered a renewed sense of purpose, all through the small, achievable morning rituals. Remember, your mornings don't have to start in sadness or isolation anymore. Every day presents a fresh chance to reach out to someone you care about. Gently move your body to renew your energy, practice mindfulness to calm your anxieties, and set simple goals to rediscover your life's purpose. Each of these small actions, done consistently, has the incredible power to lift your spirits and dramatically improve your emotional and physical health. Now, I genuinely love to hear from you. Which of these 4 morning rituals resonated most deeply with you? Was it the idea of reconnecting with others, gentle morning movement, mindfulness, or perhaps discovering small daily purposes again? Tell me your thoughts or experiences in the comments. Your story could help another senior feel less alone and inspire our entire community. If this video was helpful and touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Your support truly helps me keep creating valuable videos specifically for our senior community. Also, please share this video with someone who might need these simple but life-changing tips. Your kindness today could deeply brighten someone's tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Let's create happier mornings together.